we just picked up the KTM 390 Adventure R.
We've just spent a couple hours on this new 390 Adventure R, and I put 2 other good rides on it. We've got 330 miles on this thing now. We've got a really good feel, really how this bike handles, really who it's for, and just want to talk about it a little bit. So I'll start first just a little bit. Last week, I picked it up 2 weeks ago and drove it around the neighborhood, down the highway. I said, this is a really smooth bike. I like the motor. Doesn't have a lot of low end torque, but it's smooth. The transmission is buttery smooth. And you sit in a little bit more, kind of used to some of our other bikes we'll talk about. So you do sit in a little more. Weight. It's a little heavy up in here because all the fuel's here. So once it starts to tip a little bit, you do feel it. I've got a 30-inch inseam. I am tippy-toed. Caleb, you're a 34-inch inseam. You fit just fine on this.
Yep.
So a week ago, I did some mountain passes here in Colorado, and it did better than I expected, especially with the tune that's in it. I want to talk a little bit about that. They updated the tune. They came out with a new tune for this thing from the dealer late July, and it does quite well. In fact, 330 miles, it's never flamed out on us once, and they've done something with the kickstand. We've never hit the kickstand with our boot and caused it to flame out, die, kill, or anything. And you'll see some videos of Caleb riding and jumping, so they've fixed some of that, which is really good. Some of my opinions, I think this is a great entry-level, beginner, friendly adventure, gentle off-road bike. Why do I say that? The power's mellow. When I get on this thing, it makes you smile, but it kind of feels like a little bit of a toy. Yes, it's a little bit heavy, a little bit tall, but it's not going to get out from underneath of you. It's comfortable going down the road, and it can be a lot of fun. There are a few downsides. The suspension. The suspension's really lacking, and Caleb will share with that in a little bit, front and rear, especially the rear. And that's probably the biggest. Yes, the motor, you got to rev it to get power. So we've got a tune coming from this, from Kuber, and a cat delete, I think, really open it up. I'm going to go 2 tooth bigger on the rear. We can't find the front countershaft sprocket to go down to tooth yet. So we're going to work on this bike a little bit here and see if we can get it working a little bit better. Caleb, you've got extensive off-road. The stuff you're doing on this today, it was amazing. Tell us your thoughts, because today is your first day on that, and you've ridden this You've ridden it for a couple hours now.
Yeah.
What do you think?
This is my true first impressions on the KTM 390 Adventure R. I rode it a little bit around the neighborhood at home, and same, it's very smooth and easy to ride in that aspect. And we brought it up here. The power is very, very smooth and mellow. It makes it easy to ride, and it will never get away from you.
Yeah.
Which is why it'd be good for that beginner level for getting into adventure bike riding. All right, so some detailed specs on this. It's 398 cc's, 44 horsepower. It is got WP Apex suspension, front and rear, with 9 inches of travel, both front and rear. The dry weight of it is 364 pounds, which is 165 kilograms. Wet weight claimed is 388 pounds.
Okay.
The seat height, 34.2 inches, and fuel capacity of 3.7 gallons. Okay. We were talking about the suspension some there, and the front's okay. It's got compression adjustments on the top and rebound adjustments. I have it set right about in the middle for compression, and it feels okay. I was riding it kind of hard, doing some wheelies, and
you're doing some jumps, some pretty good jumps off some of the wash outs and stuff.
And the front feels pretty good. It handles the little chatter bumps good. It's not harsh on my hands at all. and I haven't had too much trouble with the front bottoming out or mushing through.
Okay.
The rear shock is very lacking.
Yeah. There's not much there.
There's not much there. It's pretty bad, to be honest.
Yeah.
There's no compression adjustments on the rear shock. There's rebound, and you can adjust the preload of that spring,
And
which we did.
We have it dialed as stiff as it'll go on the preload, and it didn't help much.
No, it did not help. I can pretty much bottom out the rear at will off of any little bump, which is disappointing,
Yeah.
because it takes away from the bike a lot, because it's geared more so for off-road. Is what they targeted with this, and the front suspension's pretty good. You know, it's got the high fender. It's geared towards off-road, and then they put a very poor rear shock on it. And so you gotta slow down with that, because you'll just bottom through everything and hit hard.
Yeah.
So that takes away from its off-road capability quite quickly.
It does. It does. You had a chance. We did some single track, and we've ridden that single track a couple times now. You were on our 800 Cove last time you rode it.
Yep.
So you got a good feel for how a bigger adventure bike handles through that. Tell us your feeling on this, on the single track, because you weren't really jumping anything, a little slower speed. Tell us how it handled.
Right, yeah, so slower and some pretty tight single track. It handled great. As soon as I started riding the single track, I really started to like the bike quite a bit on that.
Yeah.
It's narrow bodywork. It feels pretty nimble going back and forth, left to right, and it fits easier on the single track.
True.
The lighter weight of this bike is helpful with that as well.
Okay.
So yeah, I wasn't riding as fast with that, and on the single track, obviously I couldn't really go fast enough to jump or bounce off things, so I never bottomed out that rear shock, and it felt okay.
Okay.
The ride height on this is good.
Yeah.
It sits tall. The seat height's a little taller.
Yeah, I'm tippy-toed on this thing.
Yes.
Surprisingly so, because you look at the bike, you don't think it's that tall. And when you ride the bike, it doesn't really feel that big until you try and touch the ground.
Right, and I have the seat height here pulled up on the specs sheet as 34.2 inches.
So what's your feeling about the weight? Did you feel it much? I've got some comments and opinion with the fuel being up here. It's kind of hard to compare. What are your thoughts on how the weight and how it felt?
It felt pretty good. It didn't feel too overly heavy or top heavy, in my opinion. Even with leaning it over some and doing a tight turn, to me, I have the little longer legs, so I can support the bike a little bit better. But I didn't feel like it was going to topple over on me because of the weight being a little bit higher. It really didn't bother me. It felt pretty good. I was able to clear some little rock humps, I guess, and not scrape the skid plate where I thought I was going to. So back to that height off the ground, and the ground clearance is nice on this bike.
Yeah.
That really helps.
Yeah.
But I really enjoyed riding this through the single track. It was easy to ride, and it didn't make me work for it. That power was really nice being so mellow, because it would never get away from me, and it's not touchy on the bottom end, you know? So all the power on this bike is way up high in the RPM range, like way up high. And so just mellow riding on the single track, it's real easy. It won't spin that tire out too quickly on you and slide around, and it doesn't wear you out either.
Now the clutch feel, I really like, I'm picking on clutches. The clutch feels really good on this. The gearbox is smooth. Did you have any issues with stalling and the really tight stuff at all?
So I did once.
Okay.
And we adjusted the clutch lever engagement, where it engages compared to that grip on your handlebars out further. When we first got it, it was an immediate engagement right from the grip. And with this kind of low power and a little tendency to stall on the low end, it was easy to stall it. Now, after we adjusted that clutch lever out, that helped a lot.
That did help a lot.
So then it's further out, and it's not as easy to stall. Now, I did stall it once on the single track. It was a combination of my fault and this bike's a little bit of tendency to be easier to flame out and stall on the low end. I was in second gear, probably when I should have been in first.
Yeah.
But I was riding that clutch, but it just kind of flamed out on me.
Okay.
But it only happened the one time, and it wasn't really anything major, and I haven't seen a consistent trend with that as of late.
I haven't either. Some of the trails we took it on, I did with a friend, were some really technical Jeep trails. And as far as the weight goes, the biggest thing to compare this to is my 450 Rally, my Kobe 450 Rally. And with this, the weight is up here. And you said the dry weight's about 360 pounds.
Yep.
I think the Kobe 450 Rally, the dry weight's 320, if I remember correct. And if you have the same amount of fuel, that's a lot of weight difference. Plus, the weight is higher in here, and on the Kobe 450, it's down in here. So having short legs, immediately I could feel the top heaviness on this bike. And some of the tougher technical stuff that we did, I had two stalling falls on this thing. And after all day in the technical, even those 2 falls, you feel the weight. It is more difficult to lift this thing up than my Kobe 450 Rally. However, it is a really, really nice, decent bike for the price.
Yeah, yeah. Again, I would say it's, and in our opinion, it would be a good bike for someone getting into adventure bike riding. Or if you're just like a little more of a mellow feel.
Yeah.
And if you're good with a mellow feel with that power, and you're just kind of cruising along and not riding it too hard, it does quite well.
It does. If you're a person that does stand-up riding more and you like jumping washboards and you're a little more assertive, I'm not even going to say aggressive, in your riding style, I think you'll override this bike quickly.
Yeah, I agree. And I kind of did both style of riding on this bike to compare that, cruising around from roads to just cruising on a dirt road, to riding more how I like to ride, which is a little faster, more aggressive. I like to be able to pick the front end up, hop a little rock section here and there, and pretty much bottom out the rear shock every time. You have to be really high in the RPMs to get enough power out of it. And you can override it
rather quickly. You can. So if you're more of a sit-down rider and just want to cruise some easy off-roads, I think this bike could be perfect.
Yeah.
Good, buddy. Well, we're going to do some more riding and do some more exploring.